All right, so we're going to be going over how to simplify square roots. You did do this in geometry last year and algebra, but we definitely have to be able to simplify when we're going to square by square roots. So step one is to find the largest perfect square that divides evenly to the number under the radical. So over here, I put a list of the perfect squares. So the right-hand side here is your perfect squares that you want to see divides evenly. So you want to find a number in this column that goes into what's underneath your radical evenly. You had to find the largest one. So I start large and work my way down. So for instance, the first example here is 32. So if I'm looking at my perfect squares, like I'd probably start at 25. Like so 32 divided by 25, that doesn't work. So now I'll go to the next one. 32 divided by 16. Okay, so 16 is the perfect square that goes into it evenly. So how you would write this is 32 can be written as root 16 times root 2. Like it can split up as 16 and 2. And the square root of 16 is 4. So this is the number that comes out. And then root 12 or root 2 has to stay underneath because square root of 2 is a decimal. So the one that's on the list becomes the number on the outside, and then the other number that doesn't break down just stays. So for 48 here, I'm going to start high. So I'm going to start at like 36, which usually doesn't work, but 36, 25, 16. Oh, so it's 16 again. But this one is 16 times 3. And then the square root of 16 is 4. And then the square root of 3 is a decimal. So we have to leave it as the square root of 3. Now, if there isn't a number on this list that goes into it, it doesn't break down. Like square root 11. No perfect square goes into 11. So it would just be root 11. So if it can't break down, it just doesn't break down. When we're looking at these two bottom ones, what happens when there's a number on the outside is still break down the square root like normal. So I'm going to be dividing by my perfect squares over here. So I'm trying to figure out what perfect square goes into 54. So 54 divided by 25, 16, 9. All right, so 9. So 54 can break down as root 9 times root 6. And then the square root of 9 is 3. And then the only thing you have to make sure you carry this 2 down, and whatever number's on the outside gets multiplied by the square root that you pulled out. So root 9 becomes 3. I carry the 2 down. So this is now 2 times 3. So this is 6 root 6. So I kind of drop it till the end. Like I focus on my square root. And then once I break my square root down, I make sure that you carry it back down to multiply. And then for this one here, sorry, it's blurry. So 50, you'll get the gist of it. So hopefully you know 25 goes into 50. So 50 gets broken down as root 25 root 2. The square root of 25 is 5. And then don't forget this 3 to carry down. So it's really 3 times 5. So you should get 15 root 2. Sorry, it's blurry because of my calculator. There you go. So when you're breaking down square roots, you want to find the biggest perfect square, and then you break it into the 2 roots. The perfect square one becomes the outside number, and then you should be left with something on the inside unless it is a perfect square. It just gets broken down.